It's always nice to close 2 full days of excitement and all of this nice information. David, you asked me to say something about what we considered some of the challenges, and actually the challenges over the last year that are related to education and healthcare education with what was happening. And actually I was thinking about the challenges, and then I said, well, we did get some benefits. We gained some good outcomes from this. And then I was thinking about the opportunities in moving towards a new normal and the role of the network in this relationship and healthcare education after 2020. And when all of these come out in terms of both our educational programs, what we do with our students, how we deal with our faculties, and even events like the event that we have today, our educational programs, everybody did emergency online shift from conventional to online learning. It was emergency. It happened within days, within a week, within a single day, where we had to look at new online platforms, teaching, documentation. How do we assess our students? How do we use a lockdown browser if we need to? How do we do skills and practical training? How do we deal with safety issues? We shifted our calendars, we adjusted everything. And of course, our mobility and our internationalization became a victim of the recent pandemic. Students, it affected their training and learning curves, how they adjusted to these new platforms. We needed to ensure equal access to the students to all of these platforms. And our kids lost contact with their peers, with their instructors, their advisors. Many of them experienced social isolation. When in our school, which is an international school, many of our students felt isolated. They lost their home base, they lost their friends, they lost their contact with their advisors. Students that have special issues, colorblind and so forth. We came across issues like this that we were not prepared for in dealing with our online teaching. And of course, our faculty. We have some oldies out there that have a little bit of technophobia, moving and adapting to an unfamiliar technology to teach. Our onboarding programs for new faculty and our faculty development seemed to be challenged and suffered a little bit. Our events changed. Student orientations, our white coat ceremonies, our graduations became virtual, and our meetings like this became virtual. And actually, they became better. So I think there were some really great benefits with these challenges. Our educational program, we discovered new ways to learn. We were able to refocus on our priorities and develop more supportive learning services. Our students took on more responsibility. Actually, our students became more community wise and aware. They were more flexible. They started understanding constraints. They stood up and stood out to help in the community. It also helped the faculty increase their flexibility and agility to change. With innovation in teaching, more social responsibility. These are good things that came out of these restrictions. And actually, I think our new ways of celebrating, our new ways of supporting each other, and our new ways of having meetings are actually quite valuable. Sometimes it's very hard for us all to travel to Spain, to Cyprus, to wherever, to meet together and have a meeting. These virtual meetings allow us to come together much more easily and more effectively in many ways. About our network, what roles can it have? How can this offer opportunities? Well, I think the network is showing a way to facilitate more flexible learning. We heard a lot about this over the last 2 days. We're able to discuss and share international trends, and we're able to facilitate as a network the shift from emergency remote learning to making this a new reality. It facilitates internationalization. Look at the group that has been together for the last 2 days. It facilitates a virtual mobility. This allows new cross-border collaborations. I am thrilled after every presentation where everyone is saying, these are my contact information. If you want to talk to me, if you want to discuss something, this allows for new strategic partnerships. This network allows for open, innovative practices, new strategic partnerships. that allow us to move in different directions, digital health, whatever it is, new ways of learning, new ways of adapting. So yes, David, you asked me to say about the challenges, but you know, to every bad side or every challenge, there's a good side. And I think that we saw a lot of good outcomes the last year. We were forced to think differently. And I believe that a network such as this, the INHWE network, with the wonderful group of people that participate and are members of this network, have a role to expand and make this a new reality in the way that we deal. So I wanted to end it on an up note, because I am thrilled with the wealth and the depth of information that we were exposed to over the last 2 days. Congratulations to both of you, David and Matteo, for orchestrating this par excellence, and to all of the speakers for allowing us to be exposed in depth to the new trends in healthcare education related to TBL and to leadership. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. I think one thing we're missing with this online, events world is a good clap, isn't it? I think that's definitely what we're missing. So I'll give it on behalf of everyone. I will clap.
Okay, I clap to everyone too, and to our award winners.
Exactly, but no, I think it's really it's a much better way of looking at it than I initially suggested. It's really, I mean, I must admit, like as a former risk manager in the health service in the UK, one thing that is always missed with risk is that there are many ways of controlling, mitigating, avoiding risk. But one thing that is always missed is the opportunity that any risk will always give you. And I think you put that in very eloquent words, that there are a number of positives from 2020. And although it's extremely difficult, and it has been so difficult for everyone, and a very traumatic year, I think we move into 2021 stronger for it, almost.
Exactly. We come out strong. We come out much stronger, much more agile, much more flexible, and standing on our own 2 feet. And that's a big thing. It's a very big thing. Well done.
No, thank you again. And I think we'll move on to Adam now, who will, I think, also kind of talk about some of the similarities, but again, from a positive point of view, I think. And Adam was one of the very first board members to join up, along with Leslie, at more or less the same time. So Adam's going to give some reflections on the last 5 years of INHWE, I guess.
No, thank you, David, and thank you, Elizabeth. I think, as Elizabeth mentioned, it's been a really tough year across the globe, but there has been so many great learning experiences and opportunities that have come out of such a tragedy overall. And I think within that, INHWE has been that beacon of collaboration and hope for that continuation of the future healthcare workforce. And there'll be no other time in our lives when our current and future workforce is going to be most important. And the world currently needs healthcare. We've seen many countries clapping taking place across all these countries for our carers. And in healthcare, we'd faced that triple threat for so long: a lack of funding, increasing and aging populations, and a lack of healthcare workforce. And now in 2020, those challenges have been stretched further than ever before throughout the pandemic that we've seen. But INHWE has helped to promote new ways of educating healthcare workforce, sharing best practice as far and wide as possible, and no other network or forum does this across the world, unlike INHWE. And INHWE has members on every inhabited continent in the world as well. That is the stretch that the presentations and the work that INHWE does goes. It's incredible, really. And so the INHWE online conference, obviously adapted for the virtual lives that we currently find ourselves in, is the 5th event, as David mentioned, that INHWE has hosted as part of our series of international congresses and regional conferences. And I've been very privileged to attend 4 out of these 5, where I've also presented my research and activities I've been undertaking. And over the past 2 days, it's been great to see so many of the people who I've met previously at our conferences, and of course, all the new contributors as well. The first conference was back in Porto in 2017. We then followed in Athens in 2018, and in 2019 we had 2 conferences, one in Dublin in the January and Nicosia in Cyprus later on in the year. And now, of course, our online conference to start 2021. All of these previous conferences you can view on the INHWE website, and you can see the conference programs to continue any of that learning from the array of our previous presentations, and also to help with future research and future interactions as well. And every conference has grown, and it's developed the network even further. And that is just down to the passion, experiences, and the collaborative attitude that every member brings to INHWE. These collaborations have also led to a number of projects submitted for funding, some of which you would have heard about over the past 2 days. And it's been a collaborative effort of different INHWE members and partner organisations. And those are the Digi4Health, the Story ADU, and the Safe Medic, which are still ongoing projects, and we're looking forward to hearing them in our future conferences as well. As David mentioned at the start of this closing session, at this conference, we've had 16 workshops, 40 presentations, 50 speakers, over 100 contributors to the presentations overall, and 5 plenaries, all of that with over 200 participants, some of whom have presented at previous conferences. So it's been absolutely great to hear the progression of these programs of research and the learning and the outcomes that's now taken place from when we originally heard the concept ideas or the starting point of those projects previously. And a huge congratulations to the AfriVipe team for being the recipients of the first Leslie Dyack Award for outstanding research. Many congratulations to you all. And I think this is a wonderful legacy for Leslie, who we'll truly miss. And overall, I think this is what makes INHWE absolutely special. We bring together the best educators, best policymakers, and best leaders from healthcare workforce education. It's what makes our event so strong. That networking opportunity, the ability to learn, share, and enhance education all around the world. And this year, our ability to meet face-to-face and interact has unfortunately been diminished. But that's what our INHWE website is for. That's what our discussion forums, social media channels, and the new INHWE Meet is all about. So I really encourage you, whether you've participated live or you're watching this conference back on our YouTube channel, to reach out to the speakers who you enjoyed, follow up with more questions, collaborate and continue to learn from one another. And most importantly, implement the ideas and research you've experienced. And we'd absolutely love to hear when you do that as well. Our events have always prided themselves on being strongly facilitated, informal yet collaborative. And I'd like to put on record my huge congratulations to everyone that's continued this drive despite being online this year. So all the presenters, all the contributors, the facilitators, the attendees, and those behind the scene making all of the very hard work come to life, including all of our partners. And a particular special thank you to Matteo and David, who make this so incredibly seamless, and all the hard work goes to them for making this such a successful event. And so please can I ask that we give a virtual and a real round of applause to everybody who's made this conference a success. I know it might sound very strange being in your homes and clapping and not hearing anybody else, but a huge congratulations to everybody. And just finally, I do hope you continue to engage in INHWE through all of the mediums we have ongoing, including the new podcast, Casting the Network. I wish you well. Please keep safe. Continue striving to make healthcare education the best it can be. And I thank you for your support to INHWE as well. Back to you, David.
Thank you very much, Adam, and thank you, Elizabeth, as well. I'm not sure there's much more to say, or certainly I can't think of much more to say, other than seeing as we are very early in 2021, I'm very happy to kind of to say Happy New Year. Please continue the excellent work that we've been doing to date, and I'm really looking forward to building the network, building the connections that we already have, and going very much stronger into the future together, because I think that's extremely important for healthcare education, and really for the world, if we can be so bold. So thank you very much once again to everyone who participated and everyone in the network. We hope to see you again soon. Okay, bye-bye.